Good morning, Food Slayers. It's Michelle here from foodslaying.com, and I'm doing another public service announcement because there's always something exciting happening in our food supply chain. So today, or this week, I should say, on the 9th, which was Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. Hopefully, everybody had a happy Mother's Day. This article came out on CNN Business. And if you haven't heard already because you're not subscribed to my email list, which you should be, head on over to foodslaying.com and sign up for the newsletter to get exclusive podcast updates and extra content because I share these things with my subscribers as they're happening in real time. And this is really interesting because right now we're having a bunch of shortages, namely chicken wings. And if you haven't heard about that, let's talk about it. So this guy, Jordan Valinsky, wrote this article about supply chain interrupted. Here's everything you can't get right now. Which this doesn't surprise me because the food supply chain has been very, very fragile since March of 2020 when the pandemic hit everything and everybody. But right now, we can't get chicken, lumber, microchips, gas, steel, metals, chlorine, and ketchup packets. Doesn't surprise me that ketchup packets and chicken wings are in there because I think during the pandemic, people were eating a lot of takeout, French fries, hamburgers, chicken wings, obviously. But here's what you need to know. So, fried chicken is just putting pressure on the poultry population. Why? Because chicken wings, as you know, are the smallest parts of the chicken. It has the least amount of meat and there's only 2 per bird, right? So if you're going to get fried chicken, and you're going to get a serving of wings, you're going to get 8, 10, 12 wings. You're not just going to get 2 chicken legs or 1 chicken thigh, right? So the prices are going up, and there's no supply, right? It's a problem for KFC, obviously. So there's that, and there's no end in sight on that. There's no way to know when it's going to, when there's not going to be a shortage on chicken wings and ketchup packets. So, if you have the capability to raise livestock, small livestock, get to it or get that garden going. You should grow your own tomatoes, make your own freaking ketchup. That's what, it's delicious and it doesn't have all the sugar and stuff and whatever in it, and if you're gardening this year, make sure to head over to foodslaying.com and pick up the garden journal and guide that I've got up there. Because that's the most valuable thing that you can have when you're gardening is a garden journal so that you can write down what's working, what's not working, what you like, and plan yo stuff. Moving on. Chlorine. Obviously chlorine because people are cleaning, right? Computer chips, I don't really know why that is. It says here it was initially concentrated in the auto industry, but the first is the pandemic, which plunged the global economy into a recession, obviously in supply chains and changing consumer shopping patterns. So there's that. Gas. Now this is an interesting one because people hadn't been driving that much, but apparently there's been, with all the deliveries, the supply chain, people, the truckers using up a lot of gas delivering. But there's also been there was a hack on one of the pipelines on the East Coast. Apparently it was a Russia attack on the pipeline, so that's going to impact our ability to get gas. So, get those gas cans, keep your car topped off at all times. We talked about ketchup packets. Lumber is really interesting because people got to their building projects while they were at home. You can look at this article. I'm not going to go through all of them I think it's very interesting that we're starting to see these, bigger industries starting to feel the pinch from the pandemic and the breakdown of the supply chains. This isn't the end of it. I'm pretty sure that this is not the end of it. Prices for food continue to rise. They're up 3% from last year, from 2020, we saw a 4% increase in food prices. And so, we're not at the end of this road. We're not at the end of the road, despite what Boys to Men might tell you. So, it's good to know these things. It's good to stay informed. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel because it really helps me. Share this video with somebody that you love, and make sure to listen in to the podcast every Friday. Now, what's interesting, I want to pivot here because when we start talking about food supply chain disruptions and shortages of food, one thing that we saw proven last year is that small farmers, local producers came to the rescue. So if you're not already a part of a community-supported agriculture group in your hood, then you should definitely find one in your hood and sign up to be a member of their CSA. Community-supported agriculture groups are incredible. They're great for building community. They help people get food when the supply chain breaks down, and you can often get a better, cleaner product from a local food producer. They don't have the benefit of economies of scale, so they can't make food really cheap, right? That's what a lot of these big companies, that's the benefit of buying at the grocery stores, because they get the benefit of economies of scale. Small farmers don't have that. But what's great about supporting small farmers is that they provide jobs in the local community. The money stays in the local community. It helps build resilience in the local community. And so if you care about that where you live, and you care about eating good, clean food, find a small farmer in your neighborhood that you can support, because we're not at the end of this road. Okay? So there's that. Next up is this Friday, we're talking about food and history again. We're going to take a dive back to the 1970s, and we're going to talk about a guy who actually doesn't get a lot of credit for coming up with the original idea of the CSA, the Community Supported Agriculture Model, the UPIC model, and his name is Booker T. Whatley, and he was a black farmer, and he changed the game for small farmers, which is why we can benefit from community-supported agriculture groups right now. So I hope that you listen into that episode this week, because it's going to be fun and informative. And if you don't know who Booker T. Whatley was, then I really hope you listen in and that you share that episode with someone you love. Thank you to all my new patrons. I'm really excited. I have a new patron, Kashandra Foreman. Thank you so much. So excited you joined the Food Slay patron community. If you want to support this podcast, feel free to do so. It helps. It helps. And I thank you. I'm so grateful. It's wonderful. I love building this community. So thanks again for listening to this video. Thanks for listening to the podcast episodes. This is season 6. We've got a lot of really interesting things coming up. We're going to be talking about oil this season, right? Like oil, cooking oil, not like oil and gas, but food, right? Because oil is a hot mess. Olive oil is a hot mess. Safflower oil, canola oil, blended oils. It is a hot mess. So look for that episode coming up soon. In the meantime, in between time, remember to eat clean, eat healthy, love your food. Head on over to foodslane.com and support me by buying something good. Pick up that garden journal, for a couple of bucks. You'll get a bonus make your own compost book as well, because I care. I care about you. I care about your food. And stay in touch. Connect with me on the socials. Subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you on the other side of the plate. Ciao.